All right, it says I'm live, so I'm going to believe it. We'll see. You guys let me know. If the audio and the video is working good, type that in, that the audio video is working good. I'm in a different location. I'm in my dad's office in Lubbock, Texas. So I'm not at home. I'm on the road. We're on grid. I got electric lights, a fan. There's actually a fan going. So if you're here, everybody pile in, go on in. Let's get into the room. Don't worry about social distancing. Don't worry about your mask. Just push on in. Type into the comment section and tell me where you are, where you're located, what's going on. If you have any questions or comments. Hello, Gary. Hello, Pat. Hello, Daniel. Good to see you guys. Come on in. Pile in. We're going to talk about stuff. Hit the like button, especially if you're on YouTube. If you're not, if you're on Facebook, later on today, after the show's over, go on over to YouTube and search me, Michael Bunker on YouTube. And yeah, they're probably not as good as usual because this is not my normal setup. I'm using my dad's computer and his little spy camera. Hello, Gary. Hello, Hava. So, hey, everybody, my name is Michael Bunker. This is the Bunker Nation Show on location. Not where I normally am, but I still got the box, and that's what we're all about here. We're about starting off with the box. I don't know how well that worked either. Hello, Robert Box from the box. Glad everybody could be here. It's an interesting time. I'm on the road. We left Friday morning about 9 o'clock, maybe 8:30, and came up here to Lubbock to spend some time with my parents. My daughter Tracy's here with my grandson James, and we're hanging out, enjoying ourselves. Just had a nice lasagna. My eyes are a little glassy because I've had a little bit of allergy. Look up here. And so I put some eye drops in. Just a little bit of allergies, not bad. September, October is when I kind of start getting into a little allergy. But I hope everything's going okay. Hope you guys are doing okay. A lot of stuff going on in the world. Looks like Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. That's sad. I'm unhappy that anybody died, and so I'm not happy about that. We all knew it was coming. Everybody knew, had time to prepare, had time to think through all of the ramifications. And that camera's way up here. Maybe it should be down low. I don't know. So anyways, we all had time to look through the ramifications. None of this should surprise anybody. If you haven't, maybe you've been unconscious or in a coma for the last 9 months, maybe a year, then you didn't know that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was sick and was probably either going to retire or die. And so that anybody thinks that this is a surprise. And here's the thing you got to remember. If you go back 3 months, if you go back 6 months, the Democrats were praying. They were a praying people. And they were praying that she was going to live until the election because they're absolutely, always absolutely certain, completely certain, told every day by their voice boxes and megaphones in the media that they're going to win. And so since they are eternally hopeful, they, hands clasped, were praying that Ruth Bader Ginsburg would not die until after the election. And if they tell you that's not true, they're lying. So the whole point is that you expected it, I expected it, they expected it, all the sides of the spectrum expected it. And we also expected that there was a possibility that this could happen. Yes, I'm so far from the grid, I'm back on it, Jay, you are correct. Even when I'm on grid, I'm off grid. Hello, War Dog Heim. Hello, Prosper, Texas. Hello, Sandy, good to see you. You guys pile on in here. Make sure you hit the like button. And so here's the thing. This is just between me and you. We're just chit-chatting. Everybody knew this was a possibility. Everybody considered the possibilities. Nobody should be surprised. So the threats of violence are also not a surprise. And Twitter is afire with threats from blue checks, from senators, seating senators threatening that if the president uses his constitutional right to appoint a new Supreme Court Court justice that that everything is off, that there's nothing off the table. Anything could happen. And I posted one today. There's people actually physically, actively calling for civil war from the left. There's a word for that. And so, and I just now posted on Facebook that it's an interesting fact that the same party that has just gone through the process of removing statues, changing the name of colleges and high schools, and changing the name of bridges, because, quote, those people made war against the United States, are now actively threatening war. If you've been watching this show for very long, and hopefully you have, I've been telling you this forever. I've been telling you this specifically for the last 5 months, that there was going to be violence leading up to the election and after the election. Hello, Danielle. Hello, JKC. I think that's John Clark, but there could be another JKC. I don't remember the numbers after it. Hello, Pat. And so here's the points I've made already that you might not consider. Everybody knew this was coming. Everybody knew all of the alternatives of the way that it could go down. The left was actively praying that she was going to live because they wanted to be the ones to make the appointment for the next. And I totally understand that. Absolutely. Incumbent on them, though, and intrinsic in the idea of praying that she lives until the election, is the idea that she may not. You can't have one without the other. And so they also recognized publicly that she might not live until the election. So long as Donald J. Trump is the president of the United States, whether you like it or don't like it, I'm not a supporter. I'm not a friend. I'm not a voter of the president. No matter how you feel about him, he is constitutionally permitted to select the Supreme Court justice that replaces Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The Senate is given the authority to advise and counsel, and generally that means to have some hearings, to check the candidate out reasonably and in a reasonable amount of time, and then that vote goes to the Senate for approval. Regardless of what anybody wants to say, it's not fair, it's reprehensible, it is dirty pool, it's politics, you moron. There is no dirtier pool in the world. There is no more reprehensible behavior in the world than to seek and to pay money and to raise money to have power over other people. So this is the thing. It is a joke for anybody to act like this is a surprise, or that they hadn't already considered all the alternatives, and that one of those alternatives intrinsic in it. So when you propose a thesis such as, we hope that she lives, we hope that if she doesn't, that she can hang on through the election, in that, built into it is that she may not. And the may not is the eventuality that has happened. Why are Melbourne Australian citizens being dragged in the dirt by the police? I'm going to guess, because I don't live in Australia, I'm going to guess that it has something to do with the authoritarian nature of Australian policing. That's just going to be my guess. And so here we are, and the one of the very predictable realities, one of the very predictable outcomes, everybody saw, everybody considered, everybody knew, you knew it, whether you consciously sat down and said, no, you can't ask what I'm talking about. Sit and pay attention. You're trying to get attention, so pay attention. If you knew it was coming, and you did, and you knew that this was one of the outcomes, and you did, you, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, ought to have been prepared, and you ought to be prepared, because also inclusive of the idea that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was going to die before the election was the fact that a political party, whichever one, and it doesn't matter which one it is, you can blindly change the names of the party, and the same thing would be happening. The same exact thing would be happening. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Rain, you got to go. If you're that stupid, this is not the show for you. And so here's the thing. Like I said, you knew this was coming. You knew it was an option. You knew that this was an eventuality. Either party, no matter who's in power, would be doing the exact same thing, which is taking advantage of the fact that the Constitution allows it to make sure you stack the court. However, and I say this with as not a member of one of the political parties or a supporter or even a liker of either of the political parties. I don't have an affection at all for either of the political parties. Only one of the political parties threatens violence when they don't get their way, burns things down, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not telling you to go vote for the other ones because I really seriously don't care. I'm an observer. It's like watching football. But we know when Democrats don't get their way, especially on the far left, they burn things and they have a tantrum and they kill people and they threaten all sorts of things. And that's what we're seeing. Personally, I understand it. And personally, I've been telling you about it. I'm prepared for it, been prepared for it. So today, I spent a lot of time, started off this morning, like as soon as I heard that the Honorable Justice had passed, I knew exactly where we were going. I knew exactly what was going to be threatened. I knew that there was going to be an army of 1,000 ne'er-do-wells and mental midgets on Twitter saying, if they do this, then we rise. If they do this, we're going to fight. We're going to burn. We're going to kill. We're going to torture. We're going to take over the White House. We're going to burn down Congress. These are things that they're saying. And you'll also notice that they're not being removed. They're not being charged with treason. Twitter is not removing their accounts. Just a sign of where you are. The minority party is a screaming, crying bully who, when they don't get their way, is going to burn things and kill people. That's just the way it goes. And you know that. Not saying the other party's any better. This is the one we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. I've got my own problems with the other side. Those problems will manifest in the next 2 months when they are the side that are going to be preaching and pushing for forced vaccinations. They're going to have a problem with me, and I'm going to have a problem with them. So you people that think that I'm some kind of partisan, first of all, you're dumb and you don't know who I am. Second of all, that's not true and provably not true. JKC says if Trump picks a replacement, if they win the election, they will pack the court, increase the size beyond the current 9 justices. Stupidest thing they could ever do. First of all, if he wins the election, they can't pack the court. He still gets to select the justices. They'll just have 3 more conservatives. And the idea that they're going to win the next election after that is so short-sighted and stupid. Right this minute, I'm on the grid. I'm at my parents' house. I announced at the beginning of the show, you might have come in late. I am not. I'm always when I'm at my place, I am off the grid. We have solar power at my office, and I am able to do this through a laptop. But at the moment, I'm at my parents' house, and I'm on the grid. Those of you who have off-grid and on-grid questions, feel free to type them into the question. Actually, you can ask questions about any of it. The main point that I wanted to bring up is that this is not unforeseen. The drama, as somehow this is some outrage that nobody saw, or that somehow this is outside the bounds of law, or is ridiculous and stupid. Hello, Ravonda and Ron. That's the joke of this whole thing. The joke of this whole thing is everybody knew this. Everybody knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was likely to happen. And everybody knew they were just hoping. It's easy to pretend like you're a rational, reasonable person when your threat has not manifest. If I, in my mind, or through passive aggressive behavior, this isn't if I'm making a hyperbolic, mythological, fantastical, telling a story. If in my mind I said, if my neighbor lets this happen again, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to kill it. I wouldn't do that because I'm nonviolent. But if I said that, and if I was hinting at that, I could continue to pretend like I'm a reasonable person, like I'm not a murderer, like I am a reasonable, rational person. Even though I have every intent in my heart, if I don't get my way, I'm going to commit murder. And I may pick a day. I may say on January 2nd, if what I've expected to happen hasn't happened or hasn't, whatever, I'm going to go and commit murder against my neighbor. Until January 2nd, I can continue to pretend like I'm law-abiding, like I'm the one that's the good guy, like I'm, and this is what's happened. This outlaw group, not one person who is right now threatening violence, whether it's a senator or whether it's a citizen, a professor, some blue check, some athlete, or some Hollywood star, is a reasonable, rational person. They are whatever they are threatening is what was already in their heart. Because they knew this was coming and they planned it. They've intended this. If you say in your heart, and you don't even tell anybody, if I see this, I'm going to do this violent act, you are a violent person. If the violence that you propose is justified in certain situations, you better get that square. But what we're seeing right now is not the reaction to an unconstitutional dictate, a tyrannical rise, or some overthrowing of the Constitution or something like that. Everybody knew this was a possibility. Everybody. And so they're not going to play by the rules. They've never intended to play by the rules, so long as there was a potential that they might sneak through, that she may make it, that she may live through the election or whatever. They continued to pretend. And while they were pretending that they were rational and reasonable and not violent people, they were tearing down statues and changing the name of schools because those people made war against the United States. Well, you say they will not be part of the destruction. That's iffy. Clearly, a lot of the pontificators will not be. Some of them will. Some of them will, and they support it, and so they're just as guilty. War Dogheim is right. Smash the like button. If you're on YouTube, please give us a like. It is one of the ways that YouTube determines how and who they're going to share videos with. So don't get this wrong. This is not Michael Bunker coming in here and saying, yay, the Republicans won. I have seen nothing in my 53 years of life that gives me any confidence that anybody given a gavel of authority is going to do anything other than wreck the Constitution. That's all that's happened in 53 years. It just happens slower when you have a deliberative, construction-based Supreme Court of whatever party. I posted on Facebook a little while ago that, the Supreme Court is a perfect example of the fact that you can take two people from completely opposite political parties with completely opposite morals and concepts of freedom and justice of different races and different sexes, and they can come together and work together to destroy and subvert the Constitution. And so I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I don't have a cheerleader outfit on here. I comment on what I see. Like I said, over the next couple of months, you're going to see me roasting the political party that's going to be forcing or preaching forced or mandatory vaccinations. So just buckle up for that. But for right now, here's where we are. We're watching one of the political parties show that they absolutely have no respect for law and order, for the Constitution, or for human life. And they are threatening a war that would kill millions of people. They are engaged in treasonous activity right now as we speak, and it's being permitted by big tech. They're allowing it. That's just a fact. You may be a part of that party, and maybe you're not that way. Perhaps you're like me. Perhaps you're a disinterested observer, and you're watching this go down. You have no excuse for the fact that you ought to be prepared, especially if you've watched this show. I've been on this every day. So, hey, everybody, I need to tell you this. You need to type in your questions and comments. Let's make this thing a conversation and not a soliloquy. I'm here for you. I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So let's do that. I did want to share this with you because I think it's apropos of the situation. I shared this on Facebook. This is Linda. Come on in here. Hold on. We got a visitor. We're going to come back to this. We're going to come back to Linda. Come on in here, James. You guys want to meet sweet baby James? Come here, buddy. You want to see you on TV? Yeah? Let's go see you on TV. Oh, look at you. You better wave. Wave. Everybody say hi to James.
Hi.
There's a bunch of people watching you right now. You can see them out there. What are you doing? Go spin in the chair. Wave. There they are out there. All right. Thank you for visiting me. You want to say anything?
Yeah.
What do you want to say? Say subscribe.
Subscribe.
Hit the like button.
Huh?
Can you say hit the like button?
The like button.
Hit the like button. Subscribe. All right, everybody. Say bye.
Bye.
You're a superstar. That's my grandson, James. How's the fundraiser going? Not well. It's stalled. It's stalled, completely stalled out. Thanks for mentioning it. I'll throw that banner up here real quick just in case somebody wants to help out. I'm here for you guys, but I do this for free. I take out of my own time, even at my dad's house when I'm spending time with my family. And so if you want to, you can go to michaelbunker.com/fundraiser. You can also just go to Facebook. You can PM me and send me cash. There's no fee either way. It's free. All right, let me get rid of this. Begging for money while I'm talking bad about the Supreme Court. All right, what do we got? President does not appoint, he nominates, and then the Senate appoints with some. Okay, you got me. He selects. And so that's where we are. Other than the legal ball, I think we got the rest of that laid down. Sorry, stupid fingers. Everybody says hi, James. Boy, we said about a bunch of hi, James. That's I have 3 grandsons. We're going to take over. Yes, this genealogical line is continuing, Lord willing. All right, I'm here for you guys. Get these questions in because I'm on vacation. And so if I don't get any questions or comments, then we're going to have a short show. I'm drinking a protein water. I'm water loading. I'm drinking a lot of water right now, cleansing out my kidneys and whatnot. And so I got a water baby right here. Got a lot of water in it. Aren't both parties equally apt to try to force vaccinate? Yeah, the way the parties work is whatever the party in power is doing, the other party is against it. Doesn't matter what it is. The other party will be against whatever the party in power is doing. So the reason I'm mentioning that I'm going to be against the Republicans over the next couple of months trying to force vaccinate is because they're the ones that are going to be in power most likely when they do it. The difference, as I said, right now, although I think both parties are corrupt, they both have elements of the deep state controlling them, and there's not a dime's worth of difference in most cases. The major difference is only one party is actively engaged in violence and an attempt for Marxist overthrow of the U.S. And so that's just a fact. Being an avid, rabid anti-Marxist, then I have a problem with that. I have not done any fishing lately, and that really, really bothers me. I need to do some fishing. I got a fishing pole, and I need to go do some fishing. Hello, Jordana. All right, everybody. I'm not seeing any questions. A couple of them if I done fishing, etc. But you guys get them in there so we don't have blank time. Also, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Most likely, when I do a show like this that might be politically charged during a particularly volatile time, I'm going to lose a bunch of subscribers because they all think all of a sudden I'm a Republican because they're not smart enough to know the difference. Any books in the pipeline? Absolutely. Quite a few. I have not been censored by Amazon. I have put a book out every year, and including this year, I just put out a book called God in the Storm, and you ought to go get it. God in the Storm is a very apropos book for the time. It talks about Antifa, but it's basically about the Khmer Rouge and their genocide of the Cambodians in the late 1970s. Let me see if I can find it here. Go to godinthestorm.com, or you can go to Amazon and just type in Michael Bunker or type in God in the Storm. Thank you for hitting the fundraiser page. The monthly subscription there is the way to go because that helps us out, pays the bills every month. But go to God in the Storm. That's the book that's out right now, but I'm working on quite a few other books. I'm we're putting out Time Looter, which is going to be a compendium of the first 3 books. The 3rd book was never published, so it'll be the first 2 books again, and then the 3rd book, but it'll be the same price as just getting the 3rd book. And then I'm also finishing a couple of books. All right, Hava, she got her WIC. All right, awesome. How soon before the hardback show for God in the Storm? Okay, so I mentioned we had a problem. Everyone, I think, that ordered a hardback from God in the Storm got a paperback for free to hold them over till the hardbacks. The hardbacks are being shipped, so it'll take a week or so because they have to be shipped to Sean or to me, and then I have to sign them, and they have to be shipped to Sean. He has to sign them, so it still might be a couple weeks. But hopefully, you got a paperback version. Everybody that I know of that ordered a signed copy of the hardback got a paperback version for free. Do I listen to shortwave radio for news or for entertainment? I used to listen to shortwave quite a bit, but I just don't anymore. I just don't have the time. And I don't have the reception or the shortwave radio I used to have. So that is something I just don't get to do anymore. For news, I did a whole show on how to get news and how to interpret news. It was probably about 3 or 4 shows ago. If somebody remembers that, they can go back and get a link and post it. But go to YouTube and scroll back, and there's a show there where I talked about that. All right, but like I said, I got a lot of books in the pipeline. I am republishing Osage 2 Diamonds, which is going to be called Ice Neon. That's going to be fantastic. There's going to be a little bit of rewriting of the book. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to have a different cover. And it's actually going to be officially out. I'm still working on Futurity. I'm working on Oklahoma, book 2 of the Pennsylvania series. And I'm going to be finishing Hell in the Sea. So that's about 2 chapters from being finished. So I got a lot of stuff that's going on. But right now, over the last couple of months, it's been getting God in the Storm finished and published. I don't see any questions coming in. It's going to be a short show, but that's okay with me. I got other stuff to do. I appreciate you guys being here as always. I'll give it a couple more minutes. If you got a couple of questions. I got to stretch. Sorry about my hairy underarms. Any chance you will place your videos on BitChute? I don't know what a BitChute is. You have to maybe send me, I don't know what LBRY is either. If you send me like a message, private message on Facebook or YouTube, tell me what those things are. We're definitely trying to get the show on a couple of other platforms, and I would like to get it out as a podcast where I'm going to start having guests, and that's what we're going to be doing with this fundraiser money, is trying to expand the show. I think it's good enough that we're going to have some guests and that we're going to do really well. So we want to get it out on all of the different platforms where people can download them regularly, listen to them in their car and all that. For right now, we're going out on 5 different platforms, and we're going to be adding some more. So I would like to add as many as possible. So just private message me at let me know what BitChute is and all that. Hard to wrap my head around the notion that this nation, which I believe is comprised of a majority of people who are not going to stand for violent sedition, can be rolled over by the seeming minority of potentially violent, young, and clueless malcontents. If this gets really ugly, how do you see it playing out? Well, it is hard to wrap your head around, except that this is exactly what happened in the Soviet Union. Bolsheviks were the smallest party, most unlikely. Nobody liked them. And so they were the most unlikely, if you had to bet beforehand, to take power, and yet the Bolsheviks did indeed take power. And it's the way that they did it that we ought to learn, because that's exactly the playbook that's going on today. If this gets really ugly, how do you see it playing out? And I want to preface this by saying that you said if this gets real ugly, so that's my presupposition. I see that we're going to have clearly violence in the streets that's going to be expanding. Some of that's going to be less targeted at police and city centers and political targets, and is going to be more targeted at these seats of power and people that are in power. It's going to turn more towards open sedition rather than the faux pretense of protesting particular actions. Now that part will go, the pretense will go away. Very likely the groups involved are going to be much, much larger. Some of them will become mobile. So we're going to have them moving through states, hitting smaller areas, hit and run type things. I'm basically going by my knowledge of history. You could completely remove any understanding of what's actually going on in the country from me, and I could still tell you the way that I would say that it's going to go down. I think you're going to see violent actions that become more random, because terror, that's the way that terror works. Assassinations, whether it's police officers or mayors, things like that, burning of homes, groups going into the suburbs, traveling through small, targeting red country, flyover country. And the hope, remember, you're dealing with 2 different groups. The activist on the ground has no idea what the game plan is. Most of them are idealists. They actually believe what they've been taught in public schools and how they've been trained. And so they actually believe that they're going to win, and they're going to impose some socialist utopia. Always remember that dystopia is someone's failed attempt at utopia. That's a Michael Bunker quote from a story I wrote for a short story a long time ago. And so the actual foot soldiers are kind of utopian idealists. They are only needful so long as the people who want the end goal, which is a completely different group, and that end goal is a massive depopulation of the country and a Marxist or communist government. And those groups will eventually sacrifice all of those foot soldiers. They always have. They go up against the wall. None of them ever make it. And so that's kind of where we are. I think that we're going to see a lot of that. Their hope is that there will be a violent reaction. Their power does not rely on them standing on their own 2 feet with the fist. They know that they win by striking you and you overreacting or reacting in a way that is appalling to a nation, a world of socialist countries. Their hope is to turn the world against America, not. You guys I'm a little relaxed right now. You guys have it all wrong. You guys see things linearly. You're like, these foot soldiers want this. They're going to do this to get this. That's not what's happening. These foot soldiers are idealists, and they're doing this thinking that's what's going to happen. The puppet masters up here have a whole different game plan. Their game plan is to get an overreaction. They want a crushing blow to be applied by Trump and by the administration. They want a war, and they want overwhelming force applied so that then they can go out to the rest of the world and say, he's Hitler. That's where we are. All right. So what do you know about the siege of Washington, D.C.? It started on the 17th. Yeah, I reported it right here. Also, I heard MS-13 will soon be activated by the Democrats. I'm just not one of the guys that likes the clever nicknames. I don't really comment very often on rumors. The December 17th, the September 17th deal, the siege on Washington, that was publicly announced on Twitter and everything, so I can comment on that. And that is, I think that was a hopeful intention. The idea that somehow it coincided within a day or 24 or 36 hours with RBG's death. I've heard all the rumors. I know all the conspiracy theories. We'll see how that works out. As far as MS-13, not a clue. I don't know any more than anybody else does because it's just a rumor. I don't generally comment on those. What's your idea of fun and what is your favorite food? I like to hang out with my wife. I like to, back in the day, I used to like to watch sports. But I like to work out in the gym. I like to be there with my wife. I like to go and hang out, and I like good food. And I like drama, not the artificial kind. I like to watch art. I like art of all kinds. The kind you draw on paper. I like anything that's creative and artistic that has intrinsic value. And so I like all that stuff. That's my idea of fun. What is my favorite food? I don't do favorites. I've never been able to. It's not you, it's me. My brain does not, there's things I like, but there might be 7 things or 10 things or 15 things that I like. And I don't like one of them any more than the others. Other people, it's an interesting thing because you sometimes you find out that everybody else in the world looks at something a certain way and you look at it a different way. I've never been able to be going, what's your favorite color? I like blue, but I also like other colors for different things. I would have to ask so many questions to get to the thing. So I never have been able to do favorites. There might be a few things that I have favorites of, but I can't think of any. Lenin always liked the liberals for his foot soldiers to be disposed of either in the revolution or afterward in the cleanup. Absolutely true. I posted an article in the last show about that, suicide of the liberals. The liberals are a tool of Marxist revolutionaries, and as soon as they are not needed, they really like to get rid of them. Would you ever consider doing a series on crafting a novel? You have been a prolific writer, that's true. It would be nice to learn from you because you shoot the truth straight. I would like to do something like that. I just don't know how. I wouldn't know how to do it. I did a teaching series on world building, but I don't think we recorded it. And some other stuff, but yeah, maybe I would definitely like to do that. We'll have to keep that in mind. What food do you hate or you can't stand. I am of the opinion that just because I don't like something doesn't mean that it's bad. I don't eat blood for religious reasons, so I'm not going to eat blood pudding or anything that's blood. So that's just a thing that I would say, yeah, I hate it. I just don't, it's not anything I'm going to eat. Other than that, there's things that I've not liked, but I can see why people like them. There's things I don't eat. I don't eat marshmallow cream. It tastes perfectly fine. I never have once ever said, you know what would be great is if this had marshmallow cream on it. I like ice cream and I eat ice cream. If somebody hands me a bowl of ice cream, I'll eat it. And I like the Halo Top, the low calorie ice cream, but I don't generally go out of my way to buy ice cream. I just think differently. I think I don't, what can I not stand? I would eat just about anything that I'm allowed. I mean, the only one I can think of is blood. I'm not one of these guys that you can't eat pork, you can't eat this and that. I eat the heck out of some pork. But, I really couldn't say. I'm one of those kind of when you're in Rome guys, if somebody serves it, I'll eat it for the most part. If I don't like it, then that's just me. I have a problem with people that don't like something and so they say that thing is bad. I do not follow or watch any Christian broadcasters. I do not follow or listen to Christian music. Just not able to do it. I just can't stomach it. What is my favorite film? I can't do favorites. I just don't like it. I don't know how to do it. I can name 5, but those 5 would be revolving. If you ask me 5 tomorrow, probably I'll say this. My favorite film, and by favorite, I'm just defining it as if right now you gave me 5 minutes and I had to be seated in there watching a movie in 5 minutes, it would be Casablanca. But I like Gods and Generals. I like Godfather 2. I like so many movies. But I would say Casablanca. I like old movies. I like To Have and to Have Not. I'm tough. Favorites are tough on me. I just don't think that way. What are my thoughts on the November to January timeframe being a time of great turmoil? Yeah. I'm with you. I think absolutely. Could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping my movie gets made. I hope everybody just wakes up one morning and they're like, this is what's been going on for centuries. Let's try to get along, try to do the right thing, stop doing bad things. I hope everybody wakes up and does that. Everybody's like, I'm not burning anybody's house down today. I'm just not foolish enough to believe that that's very likely. And so people come up, and you guys may have seen it on Facebook today. And you're like, well, I don't think this is the systemic crash or whatever. Don't care. I don't plan for less than the worst case scenario. To plan for less because of your assumptions based on something that can't be predicted is just folly of the highest order. I plan for the worst and I hope for the best. I'm an optimistic person. I know who wins it all. I'm not stupid enough or a Christian glutton enough to sit there and go, God's going to keep anything bad from happening to me, but screw those Sudanese Christians. Had one of those on my wall today too. So those people I got nothing to do with. All I ever say is prepare yourself. Be aware. This is predictable. You should be able to see what's going on a long way away. And my job is to teach you. I am teaching you how to think and how to see and how to not fall for the political partisanship that's being forced down your throat every day. And all I do is say, listen, you ought to be prepared. That's an ultimate sign of love for your family, for your neighbors, and for your fellow man, is to not be part of the panicked crowd seeking after the idol of government for your pittance of food and putting a pinch of incense on the altar to Caesar just because you were too lazy and stupid to see the slowest sucker punch in history coming. So I understand when people can't do something because they have poverty or because of circumstances, mostly circumstances they brought on themselves, but I understand it. But most Americans, there's no excuse for our lack of preparedness, our lack of willingness to see things rightly and to make good decisions. We all hope it doesn't come to pass. I am not a disaster fetishist. I'm not somebody that hopes anything bad happens. I am sad that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. I didn't want her on the Supreme Court. I don't want any of them on the Supreme Court. None of them. Let me pick them. My eyes are red again. My allergies. But just because I don't think someone should be on the Supreme Court and I don't want them making decisions because they don't understand the concept of the Constitution, doesn't mean I want them to die. I think you could be clearly distressed that somebody passed away. I was very upset when Scalia died to see Democrats spiking the ball and dancing around and happy that a man died. And I am equally distressed at seeing Republicans do the same thing. But at the same time, this is the world we're dealing with, and I have to comment on it. Is the mark of the beast something physical like the COVID-19 vaccination? It can have the mark of the beast can have a physical manifestation because it's a mark in the right hand in the forehead. The forehead prophetically has to do with doctrine and the thoughts of the heart, and the right hand has to do with works and action. And so there can be a physical manifestation. Is the mark of the beast the COVID-19 vaccination? No. It certainly can be an antichrist mark, as many others are. But no, because that mark has been manifest for the entire church age. And so that's a whole other story and would be way too much to go into. I think all things that are antichrist manifest the mark, which is to accept the doctrines of Antichrist and to do the works. And so that's the right hand of the forehead, doctrine and works. And so they all manifest themselves in some form of physical way. And these type of things, mandating that you accept some biometric identifier or some implant or something in order to buy or sell certainly qualifies as a manifestation of that mark. However, the manifestation is only a indication of the condition. Just like the Lord marked his own in their right hand of the forehead, we don't sit there and say, is some other thing we're getting, wisdom tooth replacement, the mark of the elect. We don't do that. when we understand that the Lord marked his own people in the right hand of their forehead, we know that he gives them right doctrine and works that are the fruit of that. Just a little side note, not preaching to anybody. I was goaded into it. So I'm here for you guys for your questions and comments. Let me know whatever you think, or you can, by the way, future people, I do need to talk to you. Future people are the people that aren't here right now while we're live. And if it doesn't say live, let me get up here, then it's not live if there's not a red tag that says live. And so you're watching this in the future, you're a future person. Future people, you get still hit the like button. Right now, I'll wait. All right, you hit the like button. Now you want to subscribe. And also leave a comment down below. Every single person, leave a comment down below. Say, I love the show, hate the show, think you're a jerk, get a haircut. Whatever it is, I don't care. But prefer that you would give me some constructive ideas. Ask questions. Throw stuff at me. Maybe I'll do a show about it. I do that sometimes. Somebody asks me questions or I get private messages and all this kind of stuff. Don't forget to donate. If you can, help to support the show, help us get on a lot more platforms. And again, you can do that on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, send me a friend request. You can do a private message. You can send money. There's no fee either direction. It's available immediately. Man, I do not have COVID. I have allergies and they're starting to act up. I'm starting to get a little stuffy. Hello, John Henry. Good to see you. It's been a while. My eyes are really red now. Ravonda, thank you for telling me you love the show. I see the folded flag with someone in the military. My father, veteran, and served and had the great pleasure of being on the honor flight just a few years ago. Got to go to Washington, D.C. and get all expenses paid, and they took them around as veterans to see all the monuments before they all get torn down by the radical Marxists who intend to do that. So yeah, my father served during the Vietnam era. All right. All right, that's it, y'all. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I love you. God bless you. I'm glad you could be here. I hope you'll be here next time, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. We'll see. Probably not tomorrow, but it could be the next day. I'm going to be heading home on Monday. So I'll be here through the weekend, Lord willing, and then Lord willing, we'll be heading home on Monday. And but I'll be talking to you soon. You'll always be able to find me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/offgrid or just search Michael Bunker. You can find me. All right, y'all. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.